That is exceptional. Whatever wine that was.
I'm Matthew Horkey. For the last 7 years, I've traveled around the world tasting thousands of wines annually in search of the most unique, exciting, and expensive bottles on the planet.
As human beings, I think that we love acidity. We like things that make our mouth water. Think about why people drink a lot of soda pop, like Coca-Cola, Sprite, Pepsi, fresh juices. It makes your mouth salivate. And that's one of the reasons why I think that people do love Riesling so much. Well, that and it's a great grape in total. But Riesling has such high acidity. It's so juicy, which makes it really food friendly. Makes us hungry, makes us want to eat something. Well, that and Riesling is, to me, the greatest wine grape in the world. It expresses terroir. It drinks great young and incredible with age, can make everything from sparkling to dry to off-dry to sweet wines, and can just make great wines in every single category. So few grapes can really make that claim. That being said, the acidity in Riesling can be a little bit too sharp for a lot of people. I think that plus the misunderstanding of what the grape actually is has really pushed people away. Wine geeks, wine lovers have been shouting Riesling from the rooftop for ages, yet it seems like nobody really wants it. Even on this channel, Riesling and white wine videos in general don't do so well on the channel. I guess this is just the episode for the hardcore wine geeks. I have here one high-level Riesling and 4 other white wines that are alternatives to Riesling. High acid, express terroir, all from different countries, so I'm excited to taste them next to each other. Not all these white grapes have the cachet or respect Riesling has. I think all of them are very high quality, and I'm excited to see how they do next to an excellent Riesling. I'm gonna blind taste them, and then as I reveal, I'll start to talk about the grapes in bigger detail. White wine bottle shapes are all over the place. I really had to figure out a way to do this blind. The Riesling bottle was super tall, so I stuck a different bottle in there so they would be about level. That made the playing field more even, I guess, so to speak. Tasting, as always, out of my Gabriel Glas Standart editions. Love these glasses. They're universal glasses. I think they do exceptional with white wines as well as red wines. I have a link in the description box below if you want to check them out. It helps the channel if you purchase with that link, so I appreciate it. Got my trusty legal pad. I am excited to taste these wines. When I started drinking wine, I only wanted to drink red wines. I thought red wines were the only serious wines. As I get more and more into the wine world, I think the diversity of white wine is much greater than red. I think there might be more white grapes than red grapes. I don't know the official statistics on that, but just the differences in flavor. And some of the most memorable experiences with dry wines that I've had have been aged white wines. They just unfurl in ways that you don't really expect. They are also much more food friendlier than reds. A lot of people say reds, they always want to say meat, 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 meat. White, you can do a lot of different things. And they're usually lower in alcohol, not always, but usually. So it's crisper. You can just, you know, they're nice to drink. Enough of me, but oh, also, more value for money. You can get great whites at lower prices generally than great reds. Most of these wines here are in the mid-20s to 30s. There's a couple that hit the $40, $50 range. We'll see how they show. Let's start with wine number 1 here. Wine 1 is just like apple, mineral, good whites. They take the vanilla flavors from oak, which I think this has a little oak, better than red wines. Red wines, the vanilla can just get it too much, can just taste like cherry cola. With whites, it's just like this nice creaminess. White apricot, sliced white pear, Asian pear-like aromas, lemon, really complex. That's a heck of a start, but that is like an extraordinary wine. The roundness, and the thing is, some of these high acid grapes can be too much. This is not. The acidity's under control. It is just so round, so creamy. I love when good white wines, they have like kind of the sandy texture. The barrels do have a little bit of tannin, so it kind of just massages the palate nice. That is exceptional. Whatever wine number 1 was, let's go to wine number 2. Wine 2 is a little bit more subdued than wine number 1. Lemon, white peach come out. Again, these wines are a little bit younger, so they don't show all their complexities yet. Neutral, high acid white wines are terroir-driven wines. They allow the land to speak, and I think they age really well because it's already just like a neutral palette, and then age just adds complexity onto that palette, almost having like a blank canvas and just throwing a bunch of paint all over it and seeing what sticks. It's not as explosive as wine number 1 here. Wine 1 is wow. That's why you need the whole picture when it comes to wine. Wine 1 just stood out with its explosiveness, and it was just complete the whole way through. Wine 2, maybe because I tasted it next to wine 1, there's comparison contrast, wasn't as explosive, but yet on the palate, really burst through with a lot of flavor, mineral finish, really quite lemony. I get like this lemon sweet tart type of flavor on the back end. Really nice. These are complex wines here. Wine 3 shows a little bit more age. It's starting to get some like kind of caramel type notes. The fruit's becoming more dried apricot type, dried white apricot, maybe a little bit of dried peach. The first two have like fresh squeezed lemon. This is more like dried lemon zest. Oh, and now as you shake it out, that's why you gotta give wines a lot of air. It's starting to get a little bit more perfume type flavors. Oh. More dried fruit flavors on the nose, on the palate, just a rush of fresh lemony acidity, citrusy acidity. All three of these wines show so far how complex really good white wines can be. I would love to have this with shellfish. To me, this is a clams, oyster type wine. Wine 4, also super, super lemony. This one has a lot of smokiness going on. I mean, a lot of smokiness. Lemon, white pepper, smoke, Asian pear even. To me, this is like smelling a campfire, though. And it's really funny how wines can get like that. Number 4 reminds me of a volcanic wine. It's got so much smoke and ash type flavors, along with lemon. It's the most mineral driven out of all these wines here so far. Wine 4 is a type of wine that not everyone's gonna like because it's so mineral driven, can be a little bit difficult, not as fruity. A lot of people, when they want to drink whites, they want more fruit. This is more connoisseur type of wine, so to speak. You gotta be geeky to get into number 4, which I like a lot. Okay. Wine 5 is pretty darn explosive. Got a kiss of oak, dandelion, lemon, apricot, real crystalline. I think this might be the Riesling, but it's so funny. It has some flavor of a riper Riesling, not the normal type Riesling. Lemon peel, citrusy. Oh. Wow. Number 5 has the highest acidity by far. Although it doesn't have Riesling-like acidity, it's the type of acidity that just becomes mineral driven. Wow, that is high in acid. Not everybody's gonna like that type of wine. Number 5, I really enjoy it. Shellfish wine. I think that's the type of wine that it's so high in acid. It's quite neutral. It's like already 4 was more mineral driven. 5 is even more. 5 has like, it's not even fruit. It's just plain minerals and acid. Not everybody's gonna like that style, but man, as it ages and starts to pick up complexities with flavor, I think it's gonna be good. You ready for the reveal? Okay, I'm gonna reveal each one at the same time, then we're gonna talk a little bit about these unique grapes. All the wines were very good and such a unique drinking experience. I think I might know what the Riesling is. We're gonna start out with wine number 5. This is the highest acidity. Remember, it's the one I just tasted. It's the least fruity out of all of them, so I don't think a lot of people are gonna like it young. However, as it ages, it's really going to start to unfurl. This is a white wine for me that's not ready to drink yet. The quality is really good because the finish is super long. Mineral driven, 90 plus points. So no slouch. You ready to see? That's what I thought this was. This is the Etna Bianco Superiore Maugeri Frontebosco Contrada Volpare 2020. So it's from the village of Milo. I was just there actually last year. Milo is the only village you can have an Etna Bianco Superiore. The most expensive wine in the bunch, 55 bucks. Mount Etna, amazing wine region. I actually have a vlog coming up on Mount Etna. You'll just have to stay tuned. The channel is just taking a long time to edit. Something amazing. It's the highest active volcano in Europe. On Sicily, you can see it from all out the island. Something incredible about being up there on Etna, seeing all these old vines, looking up and seeing a smoking volcano. The grape is Caricante, which is a high acid grape. My complaint sometimes with Caricante is when it's young, the acidity can be so high, it can be just so mineral and slaty and you don't get a lot of fruit. That was the case here. This wine, I think, did get Tre Bicchieri and Gambero Rosso. I think it's very good, just not ready to drink yet. Also tied with this wine is wine number 3, 90 plus points. It had more dried fruit on the nose, and then it had some high acidity on the finish. This is the type of wine, it had some seawater type flavors. I remember saying, I want this with clams, I want this with oysters. I think it's delicious, and it's got a little bit of maturity on it, which is pretty nice. Let's take a look. Casa del Sol, the Albariño Froiña. This is from Rías Baixas in the northwest of Spain. 22 bucks. Albariño, also known as Albariño in Vinho Verde, just across the border. Those wines a lot of times are known for being maybe cheap, not such high quality, frizzy, although they can be excellent. I think the Albariños in Spain, Galicias, can be extraordinary, can taste a lot like seawater. I picked that up here. 22 bucks, and an interesting way to get in. I think this is a nice balance. It has enough fruit, also has some nice minerality stuff going on. People want to get in. 22 bucks. I think that's a heck of a bargain. I think you've seen this in Europe for like 15 bucks. So that's a pretty good deal. Wine number 4 here, 91 points. Smoke terroir. I mean, I thought that this was a volcanic wine through and through. To me, that's what it smelled like. That's what makes some of these whites so interesting. And this is Tselepos Santorini, the Canava Chrissou, Assyrtiko Vievins, Old Vines, 2021, $39 from the island of Santorini. Assyrtikos can get really expensive. The island of Santorini in Greece is very popular for holidays. It's an old extinct volcano. What you see in the Greek brochures where you see all the white houses, the white villas, and then the steep volcanic slides. I know that real estate's really expensive there, so there's pressure on the growers to maybe sell the land to make more vacation homes, more hotels. The vines grow in little baskets because it's so windy there in the black volcanic soil. Assyrtikos can get very expensive now. I mean, abroad, $50, $60, I think $40. I haven't tasted this producer in a long time. I think this is very good. Assyrtikos also can get petroly with age. Nice way to get in on Assyrtiko. I've been to all these crazy parts of the world, all of the wine producing regions of Western, Central, Eastern Europe, crazy Asia, Mexico. I haven't been to Greece yet. I'm gonna make that happen. And before I get to the top two, I wanna remind you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click on the bell so you know when new videos come out, and tell me what are some of your alternatives to Riesling or high acid white grapes. I'd like to know. Number 2, 91 plus points. Remember, this is the one on the nose that at first it didn't give me much, but on the palate, minerals, fiery, length, lemony, had like this sweet toastiness on the back end. 91 plus points. Looky here, we got the dry tokaj. This is the Erzsébet Pince, Zafir Dulu. Zafir is the vineyard, Dulu is like a crew. From Tokaj, Hungary, 2019, $28. This is value. Oldest wine in the bunch, 2019, did not taste like the oldest. The Froiña Albariño did. Tokaj for me is more for sweets than dries. I think they're still trying to figure out the dries. This is mostly Formant with a little bit of Haslevelu. Formant is the main grape in sweet Tokaj with fiery acidity. It's a very neutral grape, so it allows to make some great sweet wines because the acidity can be so high. Alcohol sugar levels can climb. In Tokaj, Hungary, you have the foreign investment like Vega Sicilia, has the Oremus estate. You have Disnoku, which is owned by a French group. The Antonoris even have a small project there. Also have a property owned by Cos d'Estornel. And then you have small Hungarian guys. Sepsi is maybe the most popular, most famous one. Demeter Zoltan. Erzsébet, under the radar. I've been to the estate several times, and the daughter's married to a guy named Ron, who's a master sommelier and master of wine, does a good job with the blending. I think that is a phenomenal wine. I've had past vintages. This vintage showed really well. Okay, the top wine. I guess there's no suspense. Apple, pear, mineral yogurt, sliced Asian pear, so complex. 94 plus points. You saw how excited when I got this video was about alternatives to Riesling, and look what ended up winning. Okay, this was the placeholder bottle for the real thing, which is a Riesling. This is the winning Deidesheimer Paradiesgarten Riesling 2021. This is an Erste Lage, which is a premier cru, $26. I think in Germany it's like $17, $18. Again, man, German Riesling offers ridiculous value for money. Von Winning ferments all their wines in oak. This is from the Pfalz, bigger style of Riesling, and I thought it was very flavorful, extraordinary. This is the type of dry Riesling I would want to bring to somebody to introduce them to the style because it's fruity, it's not so mineral, and the acidity wasn't so harsh. I thought this might have been the Etna Bianco. So I was trying to show some alternatives to Riesling, and I guess Riesling came out on top. So tell me, have you tasted any of these grapes before? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you soon.